perfect afternoon or lunchtime game. Pretty delighted with this. So the most important topic in the cup is to go through to the next round. That's what we did. With a win after 90 minutes with a clean sheet win. I take this definitely all day long. Was important for several players there. They got important minutes under their belt. We could rest also some players, some of our key players who were there was lots of load during the last weeks, and also for the confidence level today. So Jordan Hugill with a great striker goal, Przemysław Placheta, first time since a while with 90 minutes. So also the trust in his body that he can play for 90 minutes, also with involved in both goals. Jacob Lyngi Sørensen, first time in central midfield, also to get him used to this. For Bali Mumba, Xavi Quintilla, important minutes under their belt. Daniel Farke also with a really good performance in this cup game. So many things to like about this game, and many positive things to take. I think after a few slow moments in the start, it was a really good first half with fantastic team goals. In the second half, we concentrate perhaps a bit too much and bring it over the line, played a bit too slow and a bit too much backwards. But this also happens when you have several changes and the players who are not involved that much getting a bit more tired in the second half, and also for the players who were then a lot involved in the games, in the recent games, then to be substitute. And it's also not that easy for them because they're not used to it. And for that, it looked sometimes, that we concentrate a bit too much on bringing it over the line instead of going for the third goal. We had, of course, good chances with, I think, Timo Pukki hit the post and Kenny McLean, but they had also 3 or 4 good situations, and it was good that we had the goalkeeper in this moment who was really spot on and there was a good performance. And again, many compliments to the team, and it was nearly a perfect afternoon.
Yeah, as you say, a team performance, but you referenced him there. Just a word on, you said you had no problems with Daniel. You had your trust. Very composed young man, seems a very mature young man on that display, but just a word on him, to get a clean sheet. And he had some work to do, made 1 or 2 decent saves. Yes,
he was involved in 1 or 2 scenes in the first half and 2 or 3 in the second half. Really decent saves and good for self-confidence, good also for his standing within the group, because it's the first time more or less that he was able to deliver on such a level. We have him each and every day in training and we see his potential, but you are just really a proper first team player if you have delivered in a proper game. And good for his confidence, good for his standing within the group. He's a confident young lad. I was fully convinced that he would deliver like this. Right now, we just have to make sure that he doesn't run out anyhow too proud through Hazard's streets anyhow. But in general, so he's a good lad, and I'm pretty delighted for him.
Obviously, at the minute, he's got to stay here with you. But do you feel he probably would benefit maybe next season? It might be now go out and get some football on loan, because it looks like he's got the raw material there. He's got the temperament, and obviously, he's got the ability as a keeper as well. It's just from here how you manage him, I guess, and how you bring him to the first team as a regular option.
Yes, we'll see. So for goalkeeper, it's always a bit tricky. Of course, they need to be there in the rhythm. I think it's also beneficial at the moment for him to train together with such experienced goalkeepers like Tim Krul and Michael McGovern. So he was able to learn a lot from both of them. And we have a fantastic goalkeeper coach with Ed Wooten. So the training level is I think high class and outstanding. And I see him progressing more or less each and every day in training. As long as he progresses like this, I think we will go further on like this, especially in our situation now with the long-term injury of Michael McGovern and also during this COVID scene. So he won't go out on short-term, that's definitely for sure. No, I want him even to fight a bit more also for his position and to be greedy to get even more minutes without being overconfident. But I think the setup at the moment is really top class, like I mentioned. So our goalkeeper coach Ed Wooten is doing an outstanding, fantastic job, and I think he can't have a better goalkeeping coach at the moment for him. And for that, at the moment, we'll definitely go further on exactly like this.
Just 2 of the lads you brought into the defence, but you brought them off. Was that pre-planned, Barley and obviously Christoph, or was there some sort of injury concern there, maybe with Christoph more than Barley?
Yes, with Christoph, he felt something in the last minutes of the first half around his muscle in the hip. We're not sure if it was a knock or there was something in the muscle. We are not majorly concerned, but we didn't want to take any risk, and we have to assess it right now. So it's a bit too soon to judge if it's really like an injury or just a little awareness. We have right now also 7 days till we have the next league game. So at the moment, I'm not overly concerned, but we'll assess them over the next days. And with Bali Mumba, it was more or less planned. So actually, I didn't want to start him but he looked that sharp in the first 3 days after being back after long-term injury in training. I got the feeling, okay, it's possible to rest Max a little bit and to give him many minutes. But for me, it was clear that he couldn't play 90 minutes, and there was no injury. It was more like after 60 minutes, I got the feeling, okay, it's definitely enough for him, and didn't want to risk anything after he was out for nearly 2 months. And great for him that he was there with a really solid performance, and also important minutes for him.
Yeah, just a couple more from me if I can, Daniel. Jordan Hugill, been tough for him because he's not maybe had the minutes with Timu being so important for you. But what will that do potentially for him, to get his goal and the manner of the goal as well? That's really what he's about, isn't it? If you can get the service into him, he showed how powerful he can be in the air. What can it do for him now for the rest of the season?
I think a pretty important afternoon for him. Really, really delighted and happy, and he totally deserves this because he's a great lad, a great teammate, a great team player. He thinks more about the team than about himself. He's always there. Even each and every player wants to play each and every second on the pitch, but even if he's not involved, sometimes he's there for the group. It's unbelievably important for the spirit, and he's a top-class striker. He doesn't have to prove this anymore. He was there with nearly 20 goals on this level in the last season. And of course, he's then also a good addition to Timo because he's different. But it was also important for him. He was out with his shoulder, with his injury, had just some short cameos with just a few minutes. And also for him, important to start a game, to play 70 or 72 minutes, and then to be there in such a good involved in such a good goal with a great striker move after a great cross of Przemysław Paszeta, a good move and on the first post, and then he was that concentrated to bring the header over the line. Good for his confidence and also for his standing in the group. And it's always great for our offensive players if they can deliver end products, and for that also pretty delighted for Jordan today, and he totally deserves it.
Yeah, and just final one if I can, Daniel. Not directly related to today's game, but there's a guy you've got on loan at Coventry, Sam McCallum, not eligible today. But can you just give us an assessment how happy you are with what he's doing over there? He seems to be playing a lot of minutes, and presumably that's the best place for him to continue for the second part of the season, do you feel?
Yes, definitely. Sam is a great lad and also full of potential. He came to us from a lower league, and for that, it's always difficult to make the next step. Yeah, we assessed him also during pre-season. Also, he was involved in the first cup game, and we saw many topics that we really, really liked. And he's a good lad, but it's also important for such a lad. And he's not 18 anymore. In his age, he has to play minutes. And there's one topic in his game. He's always good in going forward. He's always good and with his crosses and also his offensive ability. He has to learn and to adapt a little bit in terms of defending. That's also quite normal for him. And we got the feeling, okay, at the side at Coventry, when he's also playing in it's a good possession side, but it's not like the favorite for the title. So they will have to defend also quite proper in order to be always solid. And it's definitely a great surrounding for him to add also this in order to his game to become really an all-round player, to be then also ready. Yeah, because for us, let's be honest, the demands in our squad are even a bit higher. Yeah, we nearly need to win each and every game. We want to finish in a top position. Last season we played on Premier League level. It's still a difference, and he still has to make some steps in order to be then there one day. For that, we got the feeling it's a great surrounding for him. He had a few problems in the start to get many minutes, but in the recent games he was involved very much. I'm pretty delighted, and hopefully it goes on to him exactly.
Thanks, Daniel. Cheers. Well done today. Thank you.
Can I just ask you about Daniel Farke again? You obviously, with two international keepers injured or ill, you've been looking for an experienced short-term replacement. Does that performance you've just seen make you think maybe you don't need that now?
No, I think we have to stay aware anyhow during this times. We have Michael McGovern out with a long-term injury. Right now, Tim will hopefully return pretty soon, but yeah, this COVID times are also a bit unpredictable, and I think we have to try to do some business, but it eases the situation also a little bit up because we don't have to rush it. We just will do something if we really have to bring a guy who totally fits to us in terms of quality, also from a financial aspect. We don't have to panic anymore because Daniel has proved today that he can be really good and reliable even on this level. So it is our situation a little bit up. It's good for his confidence, good for our situation, and it helps definitely. But I think we still have to be aware and try to add a goalkeeper if there's the right possibility. But it also shows that if there is not the right choice anyhow, that is not the perfect fit, then we won't do anything, because we have our young lads, so we have at the moment enough numbers. But I think it's our responsibility also to not to be over the moon just after one performance anyhow. So I think we have our claims and our targets in order to reach them. We should stay aware if there's a possibility to bring a goalkeeper in during this win.
Would it please you if footballers were bumped up in the COVID vaccine? As Sean Dyche has suggested, footballers should be made priority just to make things simpler with what's been going on the last few weeks. Would you back that or not?
In general, I leave this question really with the key people, and I think we also have to judge it from the ethic point of view. My general understanding of the situation is that we are not in a high risk group where we have young athletes who are in the best ages of their life, fully fit, so not that much in a high risk group. And I think not one football player is more important than any other human being anyhow. So for that, my gut feeling is that at first high risk groups should get the vaccine anyhow to keep this going. If there are any other thoughts anyhow from our key people that it makes sense to involve already some other human beings instead of the high risk groups, because it's out of several reasons better for the society, I totally trust them. So it's not up to me to discuss it on an ethic or political way. I leave this really with the key people. And it's not so much a topic for me to speak too much about.
How tempted were you to leave Teemu and Emi on the bench? Some might have felt that was a bit of a risk bringing them on for the last 10, 20 minutes.
No, not too tempted, because we had a normal week. We reduced already a bit the training load. We'll also reduce the load in the next 1 or 2 days. And I got the feeling so they can't be just 2 weeks on holiday and then to be there with the top class performance in Cardiff. It was a bit the plan to bring them on the pitch also during this game to keep them in the rhythm, and we can't just put them into cotton wool and just be scared of injuries. Otherwise, we would stop training and would stop playing anyhow. So it's also important to work further on. So it's never a guarantee. Even if they go home and we had the situation, I think, with Unel Hernandez once. He injured himself by using his stairs anyhow. So for that, I was not concerned. I think it was a perfect afternoon also to give them some minutes so that they don't have a cold start at Cardiff. I think overall it was good to rest them, not too much load for them, but also that they could play at least 20-25 minutes. So I think it was a perfect mix today.